So why did you write The Art of People, Dave?
So I wrote The Art of People because after Likeable Social Media and Likeable Business, my first two books, I realized that the principles and skills that I write about don't just apply to social media or business, respectively. They really apply to everything in life, to relationships. Because no matter what, whether you're at your career or you're at home or any time that you want to get something, you're going to be dealing with other people. And ultimately, I wanted to help people as best as I could learn from the many mistakes that I've made along the way, and hopefully the few things that I've learned along the way, and really help share those with everyone.
Yeah, it's a great book. There's lots of great stories in it and everything like that. It's a very good read. Love all your books, obviously. One of the first questions I want to ask you is kind of earlier on in the book, you talk about why be interested than interesting. What's your concept there, and what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's one theme in really all of my books, it's about the power of listening, and The Art of People, even more so than my previous books. It talks about just how much more important listening is than talking, and the interested way is one way to think about that. So often we think we have to be interesting to people, but in reality, what's even more interesting to people is you just paying attention to them and being truly interested in what they have to say. The fundamental principle that I'm pulling off of here is that we are all at our core selfish people that are concerned most with ourselves. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a reality. I'm more concerned about myself and my family than I am about you. You're more concerned about yourself and your family than you are about me. That's okay. Well, if that's the case, then if you want to really connect with someone, the best thing to do is to be interested in them, genuinely interested, not interested in order to get something, but truly, genuinely interested in their story and what they have to say and what their hopes and goals and dreams are. And when you really demonstrate that true interest in someone else, man, they totally open up to you. It's totally refreshing to people. They want to help you because you truly care about them. It's really a game changer, and it involves changing your thesis a little bit and focusing on other people instead of focusing on yourself, which is hard, but it's very, very powerful.
Absolutely. In chapter 7, you talk a bit about LinkedIn and connecting and such. What I've got my own personal beliefs on connecting on LinkedIn, but what is a good tip that someone can use for connecting with someone on LinkedIn?
So connecting on LinkedIn is an extremely, extremely powerful opportunity. In the world, they talked. Facebook actually just had a study about how many degrees of separation we are from people, and they found the average person is between 2.5 and 3.5 degrees away from people, which is pretty amazing. LinkedIn has made this an opportunity, and I think you can connect to just about anyone on the planet by finding mutual connections. And one tip that I have is to make it super, super simple for the person that you're asking to connect you to somebody else. Always write the entire letter that you want them to write to their connection.
Yep.
I don't have time to drive. I mean, sometimes people send me a list. Hey, can you connect me to 10 people that work in this industry? I'm like, that's all. You've just asked me to think of those people, find those 10 people's addresses, and then write out 10 separate letters to people. Like, honestly, I would barely do that for my closest friends. Like, you're asking a random person, you're asking me to do that. If, on the other hand, anyone on the planet sends me a well-written, well-articulated letter with another letter that they want me to pass on to one of my mutual connections to help introduce someone, I'm thrilled to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's super easy. It's just a click of a button.
Yep.
So make it super drop dead easy and simple for your connections to introduce you to their connections.
I call it the path of least resistance, my friend. It's the easiest way to do it. So, obviously you talked a bit about this a couple of questions ago, but how listening is important. It's tough for people to understand how to listen or how to get that skill set. What are a couple of tips that you can share with people about listening or skill sets that they can get for listening to people?
Sure. Well, I think that I love doing video face-to-face calls because it's much, much easier to listen to someone when you're talking face-to-face to them. One of the downsides of the advent of technology is people use phone calls and they're on the phone and they're doing other things and they're not paying attention, and that's a big problem. So the analogy that I use in the book, in terms of the best way to listen to someone, whether you're on the phone with them or certainly when you're in person with them or on a video, is listen to them as if you're watching TV. Literally make eye contact and zone out, zone in, right on the person that you're talking to, the person that you're listening to, and give them your full 100% attention. Sit forward in your seat, don't have your hands playing with other things, and just focus. And when you can do that, when you can really, truly listen that way, it's great. And it differentiates you from everyone else who, by the way, is busy checking their phone and thinking about other things. And there's also a difference that I talk about between listening and waiting to talk. Most people in conversations, they're thinking of what they're going to say. Well, if you're thinking of what you're going to say next, then you can't possibly be listening. Mm-hmm. So the challenge is to actually sit there, listen, take it all in, and then think of what you're going to say, and then say it.
Yep. It's a great point because, yeah, everyone is always thinking one step ahead. Like, how do I do that? What's next? And everything. Great comment on that one. One of the things you brought up in the book was kind of the most important question is, how can I help you? Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. I tell the story in The Art of People about a guy by the name of Michael Kislin, a financial advisor that reached out to me many times to get my attention. And I get inbound inquiries from financial advisors and commercial real estate vendors pretty much every day. It's an unending stream of them. And most of them I blow off because I don't have time to meet with everyone, obviously. And he was persistent. He said he had just one question for me. And finally, I took a meeting with him, and we sat down, and he said, "All right, here's my one question. How can I help you?" And I go, "What do you mean? Like, how can you help me make more money? Like, what do you mean?" He's like, "No, literally, like, how can I help you? Can I introduce you to someone? Can I share some experience around something? Like, how can I actually help you? What's the best way I can help you right now?" And so I said, "All right, I'll bite. I'm raising a funding right now for my software company, like a local. If you can help me by introducing me to any VCs." And he said, "Okay, I'll introduce you to some VCs." And I said, "Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Now tell me a little bit more about what you do." He said, "Nah, that wasn't the point of this meeting. We'll figure it out over time. I really, truly just came to help you." I said, "All right, cool." And he introduced me to some VCs. We didn't do business, but I knew that he was the real deal, if you will. Yep. And I ended up calling him up and saying, "You know what? I do have some money, and I'd like to put it away with you and have you work with me." And I became his client, and and I've given him referrals since, and the rest is history. And it all comes again. It's not about saying it in order to get something. It's about saying it to be genuine. Yep. If you can genuinely say, "How can I help you?" and truly mean it, then that's gonna really resonate with people, and they're gonna remember that.
It's great information as well. So one of the things you talk about is incorporating storytelling instead of selling. I love that idea. I interviewed a couple of guys. Names are escaping me right now, but their whole book originally was about 4 years ago. Was about storytelling and how it really engages people. So what's your concept of why we want to incorporate storytelling as opposed to selling?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a reason that people love movies and people love TV, because that's the ultimate in storytelling, and that's what people love. People pay for that. So why, when you have an opportunity in a sales pitch, or really any time that you're presenting something, trying to influence someone, it's going to be much more influential to bring it to life via story. And people will pay more attention. It will resonate with people. They'll understand what you're talking about. I've done pitches for fundraising where I'll walk through the whole problem, solution, and the market opportunity, and the VC will say, "You know what? All right, I get all that. Tell me a story. Tell me the story of a small business owner that's using your software and how it helps them." And then I tell it, and then suddenly they really get it. Yeah. So stories just have a way of bringing things to life that data sometimes can't do.
Tying it together. I hear you. The one thing I loved in the book too is you were talking about transparency when you're going through a real tough time. You weren't hitting your numbers or anything like that. You didn't sugarcoat stuff. You went through and you talked about being transparent and really telling it as it is, right? So why is transparency important as a leader?
I think it comes down to the fact that transparency really builds trust, and trust will then breed commitment from your people, and business from your customers when you can be transparent with them. We've come to expect everyone's going to talk about the good stuff, but when you actually are the one that delivers the bad news, when you're the one that, delivers the real deal, warts and all, it really resonates with people, and it's not easy. I mean, listen, I don't love my ego taking a hit. I was talking to my team the other day. I was on a weight loss kick, and I lost 25 pounds in eight weeks. I was feeling really proud and really
Good for you.
excited, and then I had a bad week, and I came in. I had gained 3 pounds that week. I was just really bummed out, and I was like, let me just share how I'm feeling. It's not, it doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me a bad leader because I had a bad week, and I did. And people were like, "Wow, awesome!" It just makes it real for people, and that's important for leaders, especially, to remember. Like, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be, this like mistake-free superhuman. You not only can you be real and imperfect, but it actually makes you even more appealing by being vulnerable, by being transparent.
Yep. Tell you what, Dave, I have brought this up this will be the third time I bring this up in an interview. I've done 4 with you. It's on thank you cards. And I think the first time I brought it up, you had some data in one of your books. I can't remember which one it was, about, I think it was your donor.org or something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And just when you had sent thank you cards afterwards, how much more people had, well, not only like, you go back to those people and they will, donate again, but more of those people donated and they donated more money, right? So
Yeah.
it's just the power of the thank you cards. So, part of that is, I see thank you cards. I send them all the time. I think they're one of the best things, most underutilized things in sales ever. I can't even remember the last thank you card I got, to tell you the truth. But why are they so important, and what are a couple of tips you can share on that?
Yeah, it's funny because I just saw the chief marketing officer of DonorsChoose.org last night, and we were talking about the power of thank you cards, and they've actually done even more research that's continued to verify that thesis, that when they give thank you cards, they get a higher percentage of donors, and they get even more money from them. And in this book, I talk about not only why thank you cards are so powerful because of the way that people react when they get them, but the unexpected reality that thank you cards are so powerful because as you're writing them, they transform your mood. And for me, that's the biggest win of all. Of course, when people get my thank you cards, they love them, but it actually puts me in a better mood when I write them. So if I'm in a bad mood, it puts me in a good mood. If I'm in a good mood, it puts me in a great mood. If I'm in a great mood, it gets me as high as can be. And I really truly believe that thank you cards and gratitude in general is the best drug on the planet. It can get you high. There are 0 side effects. There is only upside.
Yep.
And for the cost of a few minutes time and a stamp and an envelope, you can create this unbelievable experience for yourself. Yes, for other people, but really forget about that. Even just for yourself. Like when you have a choice between a drink of a beer and a slice of pizza and a cigarette, and some weed, or 3 minutes of writing out a thank you card. I don't know about you, but I'll take that natural high, that healthy high, if you will, every day of the week.
I don't drink beer and I can't smoke weed, so I pretty much rather do the thank you cards. It's funny actually with thank you cards though. I don't know, you probably get this. I get people actually phone me up and say, "Hey, thanks for sending me the thank you card." Like,
I know.
people thank you.
I know.
Because
It's
they just so rare, right? It's crazy. It's great that they do that. Hey, Dave,
Yeah.
that was all the questions I had for you. I'm going to hold the book up again here for people to get it. All your books are wonderful. I think everyone should get all of them. And is there anything I missed in the book? Is there anything you want to convey to people about?
I mean, look, there's 53 chapters. I really, truly believe that, we had more, but I selected the ones that I thought were the most helpful, and I really think this is going to help people. I'll tell you what I'm doing with this one, Chris. I am offering a money-back guarantee. If you buy this book and you do not like it, if you find this book does not add value for you, you shoot me a tweet at Dave Kerpen. You can private message me your address. I will literally send you a check for the amount that you spent on the book, plus a fair amount for wasted time. If you think you've wasted time with this thing, I will literally send you a check for $50, $100, whatever you think is fair. If you truly read it and you don't get any value out of it, because that's I really believe that it's going to help a lot of people, and I hope it will.
That's awesome. That's that's the way it should be. You should always get something out of it. So, Dave, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for your time again, and I will. I'm sure I'll talk to you on your next book next go round.
Thank you. And Chris, since you've had me, I think 3 times now, it's only fair that we do something a little different. So, for those of you that are watching that are in the same fine country as Chris, I just want to close by saying, "Oh, Canada, our home and native
If I had a
land.
flag. If only I had a flag.
True patriot love in all thy sons command."
I'd finish it for you, but I got an awful voice. That's awesome. You actually knew that. I am so impressed. You must have been to some Blue Jays games or some Raptors games.
Boston Bruins.
Ah,
I worked at the Boston Bruins back in the day.
That's
in
right.
college, and there was, I guess 2 or 3 Canadian teams that would come in, and the great Rene Rancourt would do that song, and I fell in love with it. It's a great anthem.
It is. I love it, man. I love it.